Now, open the IsoMagic starter file that I provide for you, and then zoom in if you're not already zoomed in. Cut back out here. If you need to, I held down the space bar, then hit the Command key and click and drag right. And then we are zoomed in on 3 squares with letters inside. And these letters represent the left side, the right side, and the top side, the 3 faces of our isometric cube. And inside your symbol library, I've given you the left face, the right face, and the top face, or sides as you may prefer, and a cube that was not made our typical way, but was made out of these 3 squares. Now, to achieve that, we're going to need to load some actions. And I also gave you these actions. These default actions we don't need. We can just drag those to the trash. That's just fine. Okay, and now before I do anything else, I want to maintain your starter file. So I'm going to do a save as, Shift Command S, and and I'll just name this demo. You name it something else. Don't just mimic this part. And we'll go ahead and save that. So now I'm not overwriting my starter file. And what we want to do is open up Actions, and if you don't see it here, it's under Window Actions, and your symbols are under Window Symbols. You should know that by now. And then click on the hamburger menu in the upper right-hand corner and say Load Actions. Now, I've dumped my actions out on the desktop. Yours are probably in your Downloads folder. And we can just double-click on the IsoMagic actions, which then, if we open these up, you can see there's a left face, right face, top face. And if you twirl these open, there are settings involved. But let's go ahead and make this simple and go into button mode. Now, if we select the left face, the entire left face, so we get the letter L as well, and click on the left face action, boom! Is that cool? Select the right face, click on the right face action, select on the top, and the top face action. Now, our task is we need to assemble these, but notice how I can select that L separate from this face. I'm going to select both of those and group them. Hit Command G. Select both of these and group them. Select both of these, and you can right-click and group. It's Object, Group. Command G is your shortcut. So now when you click, you get everything. To do this, and I've been trying to figure out, because snapping just does not work to the tolerances we require. When we pull out, look, when we pull out this cube and drop it, and we know that this will snap into position, and if I click on transform, you have these features, these numbers sitting here in your control bar. I don't, because my laptop's not big enough, but you can see the cube is 50 pixels wide and 57.735 tall. We know that. And hit delete. Whoops, I'm going to click on that and hit delete. We know that. So right here, if we select all 3 of these and then come up to our X and Y coordinates, now let's change this registration point. This is really important. I'm going to change it to right, well, shoot, we'll leave it right there at the bottom center. The X, hit Command 0 so we can Command 0 so we can see the whole screen, and open up that transform. Our registration point is, oh shoot, we'll just stick it over here. We want an X of 0 and a Y of 57.735. that was how tall our cube was, right? We're down at the bottom. So when we hit tab again and then zoom in, I'm going to zoom in this upper corner, you can see our left face is now exactly where it's supposed to be inside this cube. And if I click on the right face, and we need to move this over, and we know this cube is 50 pixels wide, so this is 25. So now I can click on the R and hit my transform. This registration point here, we want to move our X to 25 and hit tab. Now that right face is in the perfect position. And now if we click on the left face and bring this over, where do we want this? That center top point, we want it right there. We want it 25 pixels over. And what is the Y? Let's see. If we bring that up here and just get it close, we're not going to get it right on. We can see that if we go to that upper center point, 25 and 0. We did. I lucked out. I put it in just the right spot. So now, if we select all three sides, our cube is 50 pixels wide, 57.735 pixels tall, which is the exact size we want it. And now in the symbols library, I can take this, I've selected the entire thing, drag it in, and make a symbol out of it. And we'll just call it something clever like left, right, top. Now, what can we do with that cube? And now think about it. I put text on there. You could put a shape on there. You could put a face on there. You could put anything in the universe on the flat rectangles that you drag out. Drag out a rectangle, break the link to the symbol, and then do something to it. I have given you, I'm going to delete that. I have given you layers, and we have faces, a place for, I found this was an easy way to work, a place to drop the faces of the cube to keep things separate, and then a place, if I scroll up, to drop the art. So if I do something like an ellipse and I'm up here on my face art and I come out here and we'll change this to, let's say, white, and you don't have to use blue and white. Did we break the link to that symbol? I just want to make sure. Click on it, break the link. That would have been a mistake. And then we broke the link. We're going to come back up to face art. Pay attention where you are in the layer stack. I'm going to get this ellipse tool. Come out here and, well, I'll just click and drag. I'll drag from the center and drag out a circle that I can then change to be white. Click OK. And then if I want to align that circle on this square, watch this. I'm going to select them both at once, and then without any modifier keys, I'm going to click on the square. Notice how that makes a special highlight around it. It's got this thick line. And if you look at the Align panel, it says Align to Key Object. Now, if I center that inside the square doesn't move, but the circle does. And then, oh, what could I do with this? What could I do? Well, before I do it, what if I just drug out? I can grab that. I'm going to move this over, and then I'm going to hit letter Command D, and then I can select that. And what if I say left face? Now I've got these the wrong color, right? Right face, top face, and I think you're getting the idea. But if I zoom out a little bit and move this over, now I can select this face. This is the top. I can hit the eyedropper and select that. Hold down the Command key to temporarily select this rectangle, click on the right face, and now I have these three colors, and guess what I can do? I can move this out of position, highlight these two, and I can group them, highlight these two, and I can group them, highlight these two and group them, and then remember where these go? We can try to put them into position. Transform 25, and we have to change our registration point, right? For the Y, we want the Y right there, so we know that this bottom point is at 57.735. So we were off by 2/1000ths of a pixel. And you say, well, that's no big deal. Well, when we make our repeating patterns, it is a big deal, right? So we change the registration point to right there. And then we know it's 735. So you can see these things are snapping into a strange place. They're not. Is this actually moving? When we do that, that's interesting. Let's see how this works. Pop that into position and check our transform. We'll select all of these and check to see if, okay, so we had some weird stuff going on. By repositioning it, we now have this cube perfectly sized, 57.735, and then we can click on the symbols and drag this baby in here, and now we can, I don't know, give these things names. Now we can do cool stuff like, what if we made a pattern out of this? And because it's a hex by row works really good. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to resize, change the angle, and reposition this inside a pattern. That's just too cool.